So this was the game that got the big reveal at the Game Awards, huh? Made by the Apex Legends people, right? I don't know, you can ride horses and shit, I guess that's kind of cool.
Getting hit. I'm under fire. I'm down. Shield breaker is close to our base. We must stop them.
So Highguard came out like yesterday to basically zero fanfare, as apparently Steam is overwhelmingly negative on the game, and most people's reception on it is mixed, for lack of a better word. I, for one, decided to download the game after realizing that it came out, and then I proceeded to forget that I even downloaded it, so I'm actually playing it on the second day that the game came out. Or played, past tense. The reason I say that is because I played the game for about 45-ish minutes, counting the tutorial, and then uninstalled the game to reinstall Apex Legends, which I actually haven't played in several months, because this game just made me want to play Apex Legends instead. Is that because the game is bad? Well, no, not really. It plays solidly, the gunplay is fine. This is made by ex-Respawn devs, the people that worked on Apex Legends. So if anything, the gameplay itself is roughly fine. The only thing that I feel kind of off about is the fact that the movement isn't quite as cracked as it can be in Apex at times. Really, the most interesting thing about this game is the fact that you can ride horses. Really, this game's only real sin seems to be the fact that it was the last game that was shown at the Game Awards, which is usually saved for all of the show-stopping reveals, and honestly, I didn't really care about the Game Awards this year. Not like last year where they showed off they're finally doing Virtua Fighter 6. To my knowledge, however, people were basically looking at this and being like, oh yeah, it's going to be the next Concord. Which is the exact same thing that they said about Marathon, but Marathon got delayed and is releasing in March now and looks a lot better. At the very least, this game happens to be free and not priced like Concord and Marathon are, and frankly Suicide Squad if I want to talk about other games that are just massive failures. But I've gone all this time without talking about the actual gameplay, so I'll try to do that, since I doubt people that watch this video are going to actually bother trying to play this game, and I don't know how long it will be available. So, with all the preamble out of the way, what exactly is Highguard? Well, you start each match by selecting a Vanguard, aka a hero, so this is indeed a hero shooter, and then you're thrown into the game in what is basically Control Point from TF2. I do not have much experience with Team Fortress 2, so I will instead be calling it Battlefield 1's Frontline, featuring the legends of Apex Legends. Basically, this is a 3-on-3 team shooter where both sides first try to take control of an objective called the Stormbringer and then bring it to the opposing side's base. If they manage to crack it to the opponent's side's base, then it starts a raid. During the raid section, there are 3 objectives. 2 objectives, which can be destroyed to end the match, and 1 objective, which is worth a lot and will basically also instantly end the match. Basically, the game starts with you trying to take control of a specific objective, ram it into the enemy's side, and then basically play rush for the next 5 or so minutes. If one side is not able to destroy the enemy's base in that initial raid, then the game basically resets to neutral again and drops another Stormbringer. There is a hard timer in this game, and it's basically the health. Every time the Stormbringer is brought to one of the team's sides, it does 30 damage to their base, which means that if no objectives are destroyed, once a team gets raided 4 times, it's game over. Each of the Vanguards in this game has access to a passive, tactical, and ultimate ability, just like in Apex Legends. Now, I really only played Mara during the 3 matches of this game that I actually played, and it took me until, like, 75% of the way through my first round before I actually understood what the hell her abilities were. All I knew was that she was the support character, and she was the one that I thought looked the most interesting. But her abilities were basically giving herself an overshield like you're playing Symmetra from old Overwatch 1, and being able to create a spawn point was her ultimate. And you could also sacrifice the souls of your enemies, i.e. going over to their downed bodies, and use that to charge her tactical, which could also be used to give overshield to her allies. I didn't really get a chance to use it that much because my teammates kept moving all around the place. The firearms in this game include your standard fare assault rifles, which includes the AK-47 because of fucking course it does. It doesn't matter that it's called the Dynasty here. It is an AK-47. A shotgun, which honestly, the shotgun kind of felt terrible most of the time, so I guess that's something that carried over from Apex Legends. A sniper rifle or 2, and SMGs. Well, really only one SMG that actually mattered to me, which was the Tempest SMG, which despite only having 20 rounds in it, did the most damage of any of the guns that I used, so it was one of my favorite firearms to use in the game. Oh yeah, you also have access to a ray tool thing, which is kind of like a heavy weapon, which includes a zipline gun, which I didn't use, a hammer, which I didn't use, and a rocket launcher, which I forgot about, so it might as well have been something that I never used. I have just about nothing else to talk about with this game that I barely spent an hour with, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is the presentation, because my god, this game is really trying to be Apex, or at least the devs are really trying to remind you that they worked on Apex. I mean, like, the health and your squad members are in the same spot, your tactical ability and ultimate are basically in the same spot, your ordnance thing is on the right, your other guns are also on the right, and other than that, the rest of the UI basically just makes me think of Splitgate, which was another game that was kind of interesting and then I forgot about, and then it got hit with controversies, and now it's back to being a game that people can play, and nobody gives a shit. In the end, I feel really bad for the developers, because it's obvious that they tried to make a solid game, and their work is relatively solid. I mean, these are ex-Respawn devs. They know how to make a solid shooting game. However, Highguard is just really forgettable. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all playing this game really did was just make me want to go back to playing Apex Legends. Because even though I'm not into playing the Battle Royale mode of that game anymore, this game made me remember how fluid and fast the gunplay of that game is. Because even though the gunplay here still feels relatively solid, it just feels a bit too slow for me. This game basically holds the same space in my mind as Hyperscape, or Realm Royale, or Splitgate 2, or whatever other free games exist on the PlayStation Store that aren't really worth your time. But yeah, if you want to play this, but better, just play Apex Legends. And if you want to play a 3v3 game that won't destroy your console, play the finals. And if you want to spend money on a game that will have more quality than this, well, play Arc Raiders, or Marathon when that comes out. Because Bungie seems to really be pushing the idea that that game is way better than back when they showed it in the alpha. Anyways, that's really all I have to say on this game. If I had to rate it, I don't know, maybe give it like a 5 out of 10. This game is kind of just mediocre. It functions, and that's about it. So it's kind of just like furniture that you put in your house and then stop thinking about. Or that one game that you put on your console because your friend suggested it, and then both of you forget to play it ever again. Right, now you guys can go back to ignoring Midgard's existence. Thank you and have a good day.